Welcome, Allied Health faculty, to my first COVID active training session. It's not so much training, but I want to present to you for discussion the Trajecsys clinical time tracking system. As a clinical coordinator, tracking clinical time is very tedious. There's, as you all know, one clinical instructor usually for multiple students, and we are all held by our accrediting agencies as to how much time they have to have, and we need to be precise with that. Okay. So through the years, we've always done faxes, which thank goodness we don't have faxes anymore very often, but emails, scans, and a spreadsheet. I've done an Excel spreadsheet for years. And what we are looking at when we do that is we've got a sheet for every student for every week. And these sheets are going to be, this is my video when I try to tell them how to correctly fill out a timesheet. But you're at the mercy of people's handwriting. You're at the mercy of how are they going to fit all their procedures into this. And unless we make it a giant document, you can't do it. I still, at the college level, I get timesheets with no name. I get no clinical tally time over here. I don't have clinical instructors' signatures. They fail to log in their venipunctures. They forget to put the dates. All of this is, it's worked for many years, but it's just not efficient, and it's not a fun thing to do. Okay? So I have this, and I have a stack like this just from last week. And some students will have 3 or 4 pages for 1 week. And then we have to receive them digitally. We have to keep them of record in the student file, and those student files can get so thick that it's impractical. So in my opinion, we need to have a better way of doing this. And we have used in the past also, we've used My Clinical Exchange, but this was only with one hospital system. And you had to complete training in order to use it, which, you'll have to train with Trajecsys, but it will be ours. We will own it. We won't be at their mercy. And we would have, they would want to use this for phlebotomy clinicals, but not for MLT clinicals. So there was no consistency. So part of what I'm hoping to present here is a consistent way and a precise way to keep track of clinical time and make it a heck of a lot easier. It may be a little more work on the front end, but I think the benefits are going to be amazing. So what I've done here in this simple presentation is I've taken the small video that Trajecsys published, and I've broken it down so that we can have a still shot of the screens so that we can take a look at all of the benefits. The first page is going to be where you clock in. Okay? And it gives you, over here, you have all of your clinical documents, which this is going to be great. This is going to be our clinical schedule. Everything is going to be in one place. A log sheet, a report, your competencies. You can email within Trajecsys, add comments, and you can do evaluations. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing by paper and our second and third, fourth, fifth sets of competencies can be done within Trajecsys and backed up. And the move with everything being digital now anyway, it's time that we do something, I think. So for each student, okay, you have your student profile, and you can clock in. And one thing about Trajecsys is that it is mobile friendly. So when you're going to the clinical site, you don't necessarily have to have your laptop. You can check in from a mobile device. So you'll clock in. This page is going to be your time totals, and it tells you the date and the facility. You know, we all have different facilities. Some of us have different ones for blood banks. Some of us have different ones for OB. So whatever facility you're at, you know, surgical technology, this could be used for anybody. And it tells you the time in, time out, and then there's your total time. That's what everybody tends to have issues with there. Okay? And it tells you what kind of mobile login, mobile or not. And then over here, these are GPS coordinates. Okay? Having your GPS coordinates logged when you log in is a very good deterrent for those who may be running late and decide to clock in early. Okay? Because you be clocking in and you're still 20 minutes away from the facility, and that's not going to work. So having all of these things in place are going to cut down on any temptation to maybe be a little sneaky on time, tempting as it may be. This page, this is for a radiology student, but we will have the skills set up just like that for each program. And again, it gives you the date and the site, and it tells you what they did today. This person did an AP chest and a clavicle. Okay? On the AP chest, it was observed. On the clavicle, it was performed. For me, it would be like a type-in cross-match. Observed, type-in screen, performed. And so that's going to give you so much better than all the handwritten paragraphs of procedures. And then, not only does it do that, it tells you who is the supervising employee or the clinical instructor. So that's nice, because you're not going to be getting that blank anymore. Okay? And it tells you how long it took you to do that. And again, the observation is the I, and then performed is nothing. You can add comments. And these are delete buttons. You can edit within this as well. Okay? So all of that is right there. This is going to be another form of the clinical internship record, also available. So again, you have your procedures, so the whole abdominal series. And your competencies are listed here. This student got 2.73 out of 2.74 on their competencies, and these comps are hyperlinked here on the date. So just a much more precise way. This is a part that I find very interesting. We have several pages of competencies and an attitude assessment that go for each student in each department with each supervisor. And they're all paper and pencil forms, the same as they were 25 years ago when I was in school. And now we can put all of our same competencies into Trajecsys and our evaluation. So not only are we being more efficient, we are cutting down on paper. We are able to share this with the clinical instructors more readily. We don't have the I lost it, we don't have the multiple page send, the crooked scans, the I can't read it. All of that. This is just going to be so much more efficient. And we could go ahead and add to the bottom of the competencies, make a separate heading, and add our attitude assessment. So it's just going to be one paper. Also, within the app, it's going to be easier to send reminders for those people that missed the first deadline. You're not trying to decide, okay, which email are they going to read first, or which one are they going to do here? And this is going to be, again, an approval, when you can go in and approve the time. So this is going to be like the same as having a clinical instructor's signature. Again, and it tells you your students, how they logged in, and then there's the GPS coordinates again. And then you just can select all here and approve them, and that's an electronic signature. Okay? That's going to look good for accreditation, because we are actively having to go in and approve things, which I still do that on my paper ones, but this is, I mean, just to click a box, yes. So this one is going to go by report parameters, and you can select different filters, what you're going to look for. So in this one, we are going to filter by subject, okay, and then a date. And you can get any report generated that you want. If you want to know how many procedures they did, if you want to know how many days they missed, anything like that. Okay, and again here, this is the performance evaluation, and it's all nice and compact right here. It gives you the score for each thing, even including, you can add anything you want, but so these would be procedures, and then all the way it comes down here to confidence, cooperation, poise, responsibility, dress code, hygiene, all the things that are part of the attitude assessment. So again, just making it a much more efficient process. So as I ask you to consider this program, I would like you can take the program tour directly from this presentation right here. This is going to be very similar to what I just presented, but the audio has a couple of glitches, and it moves fast where you can't really slow down and zoom in and look at the screens. So that's why I added those screens to this presentation. And then anytime we have to change something with the clinical setting, or with ourselves, or anything, it's going to take a bit of selling. So the people at Trajecsys have put together a 19-minute video for selling change to the clinical site. And I'm not going to watch it in here, but I would like you to watch it as you write down your questions and concerns. And I invite you to discuss this, and we will, when we get together, either in person or via Zoom in the fall, whichever one we're going to do, I would like to discuss this possibility. And also, if you have been using another program, My Clinical Exchange, if you have something of your own in place that is working well and would be a viable option, I think that's something we need to look into. Okay, so get your questions and concerns down. Be ready to, you can email me with questions or anything. You can watch this presentation as many times as you want, but let's really look into this in the fall when we're having division meetings. Okay. And I thank you guys for your time today, and I hope that I see you soon.